Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be my playthrough of PanzerBlitz Situation 7. See? PanzerBlitz. With all its little charts and tables in the lids. And Situation 7. This is an opposed playthrough against Harri from Finland, who I played all the previous situations through. So we're up to Situation 7. Now, this is going to be our second playthrough. We started to play the game as per the victory conditions on this little card, and we got about 5 turns in, and we realized that the victory conditions were, to put it frankly, bollocks. Written on here, it says, have, for the Soviet victory conditions, or Russians as they're written on here, that's maybe politically correct in 1970, have more than Germans on board 2 at the end of the game. That's for their marginal. And that was so easy to achieve. I mean, they got nearly twice the amount of units to start with. So they just rushed them to the board and could sit there. Now, I was playing the Germans in that particular scenario, and I said, there's nothing I can do. If I attack you, because when you attack, you're going to lose units. So I was already starting outnumbered, and attacking I was going to take casualties, and the Soviets just didn't have to do anything. And I thought, it's another one of those situations where these victory conditions are just not that well thought out. I don't know what the play testing was like back in the day, but they just weren't that well thought out. So he said, all right, let's move on to situation 8. This is, it's not going anywhere. Wasn't fun. Well done, Harri. You've won for actually not having to do very much, because the more I attack, the more of the chances you're going to get a tactical or even a decisive victory, because I've got to expose myself and you've just got to sit there. Didn't seem much of a fun scenario. So we were going to do situation 8. We ended the session on the playing, because we're playing one vassal, and this is going to be replayed on vassal. And I had to think. Yeah, I was looking at situation 8, but I was thinking there must be a way to make situation 7, which potentially is quite interesting because it's a meeting engagement. Interesting. So I looked at the victory conditions again, and I thought, well, why not up the victory conditions? So for the Soviets to get a tactical, have 2 times as many units on board number 2. So instead of making that a tactical, so let's just lower it a bit. So let's make the tactical the marginal. So the Soviets must have twice as many units on board number 2 to get a marginal. All of a sudden, they don't start with twice as many. I said, nearly, but not quite. So I said, well, that's just getting close. Then the other thing is the Germans have got 2 of their big, Vespa, I think it's a Hummel, big artillery pieces, but they haven't got a CP unit, control point, to actually use them for long range, out of sight artillery fire. So I thought, we'll give the Germans that. So give them a half track to carry the chap and a CP point. And it's played. So I suggested by email to Harri, what do you think? I said, we can, if we add that in, then roll for dice who gets what side, and then we take it from there and see if that makes it any better. It can't be any worse. And what you're about to see unfold is what transpired. And it was a lot of fun. I'll say that right now off the bat. So just by tweaking the little victory conditions, and I suppose back in the day, if this was 1970, we could say, well, we play tested this and we thought this was a better idea. Rather than fitting the Holy Grail, we tried it your way, didn't work, tried it this way, seemed to. I don't know. Other players might go, oh, yeah, try it and don't like it. I don't know. That's for you to judge and make comments on in either the box below or wherever else you make comments. So, yeah, let me know. And talking about that, the housekeeping, the usual, the like and subscribe, it all helps the channel. But let's go down to the map and see what is going on. Okay, PanzerBlitz situation 7. It's a meeting engagement during the German relief of Kiev on the 23rd of the 11th, 1943. The Russians had just liberated Kiev and were continuing their advances. The Germans made a desperate attempt to drive them back. Armoured units of the 6th Guards Tank Army met elements of the 19th Panzer Division, which included elements of the 27th Panzer Regiment, 74th Panzer Grenadier Regiment, 19th Recon Battalion, 19th Anti-Tank Battalion, and 19th Artillery Regiment. So as I said, this is a meeting engagement. So the Russian forces, and I'm playing the Russians, so we re-rolled it after we added our tweaks and such forth, and it came up, I'm rolling the Russians. So enter along the east edge of the map, okay, which as you can see on the map up here is up the top here, okay. On number 3 board, this is number 3, there it is, number 3 there, unstacked infantry and guns in trucks and half-tracks, moving at 12 hexes per turn until lead unit comes within 3 hexes of an enemy. So it's like the old ASL meeting patrols. But I say the old, I mean, this is obviously designed before ASL, so maybe the ASL meeting of patrols is designed from this. Okay, within 3 hexes of any units may then leave road and move full speed. Units unable to enter immediately set up in road march order of board and enter in that order. Okay, so and then there's quite a few bits of kit which we'll go through as I move them on the board. Victory conditions marginal. Now this is where we changed it. So originally it was have more than Germans on the number 2 board at the end of the game. We've now changed that to have 2 times as many units there. Therefore, we made the tactical 3 times, and we made the decisive 4 times. So that was the only victory conditions change. We didn't change the German victory conditions, we just changed the Russians. So German forces, okay, and they're all awaiting down here. Edge of number 1 board on road, unstacked, infantry and guns in trucks and half-tracks, so it's very exact, moving at 12 hexes per turn until lead unit comes within 3 hexes of enemy. Units may then leave road and move full speed. Units unable to enter immediately set up in road march order off board and enter in that order. Their victory conditions have as many units as the Russians on number 2 board at the end of the game. And we kept that the same. So if I had 12 units, he must have 12 units or more. Tactical have twice as many units there, and decisive 3 times. So we didn't change the German victory condition, just the Russians. And the Germans moved first. We also determined at the start the Soviets have 50 units. As the scenario is written, the Germans have 32, but we gave them those 2 extra, which is an extra half-track and the CP unit, so that they can utilize their big guns. I think I say they're a West. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a Hummel and a Vesp, so they can use indirect fire. The only other little rule thing I want to mention, one of my dedicated people who are watching me playing in this PanzerBlitz situations going through has mentioned in the rule book that we have been doing close assault with infantry coming off of vehicles incorrectly. Now, back in situation 3, might be even situation 2, me and Harri were looking for the rule about can a unit be transported and do close assault after it's de-embarked in the same turn. We couldn't find it. So we house ruled that they could. So as long as the vehicle doesn't use road movement bonus, they can bring the infantry up, the infantry disembark, and they can close assault in the close assault part of the turn, and the vehicle could have moved away as well, and such forth. And we liked it; it seemed to work. Subsequently, as I say, I pointed out that there is a rule that stops you doing that. Okay, the passenger may not fire, use his attack factor in the turn of loading, whilst being transported or when unloading. Or when unloading. We missed it. So we only found that out when me and Harri have been 8 turns or 7 turns into this. So that was going to be the last play session we had. I had a discussion with him. And to be honest, we both said, yeah, so what? I said, well, shall we finish this scenario using the rules as we've been doing? And we both agreed, yeah. And then in our discussion, we said, you know what? It gives infantry just that little bit of something, because without that, they're bloody useless. And I've played quite a lot of games where you can disembark from half track. I know it's a different scale. Look at Band of Brothers, ASL. What's the other one? Can't think. It doesn't matter. Play games where the infantry can disembark from a vehicle, and then in their assault phase or something, they move and attack the hex that's adjacent to them. And I thought, that's why we went for the original, let's do it that way anyway. And I think it gives the infantry just a little bit of teeth, rather than sitting in the open or in the woods or adjacent to a vehicle or enemy infantry, and have got to take a pounding beforehand. So yeah, I know there's no defensive fire, no opportunity fire and such forth, but so we decided to keep it in our games until we've done all 12 scenarios. Sorry, keep saying scenarios. Why they call them situations, but I'll call them what they are, situations. And then we decided that's going to be the way we're going to continue. If it's not completely vanilla, well, the scenario itself is already not completely vanilla because we changed the victory conditions. So, and considering they say situation 13, which is a sandbox, do what you want. Here we are, do what we want. 54 years after the game was put out there, still playing and actually thoroughly loving it. So let's get in now. As I say, this is a post play with Harri, and we're going to go through the log that we generated during the game. The game was played over 3 sessions, and it took us quite a bit of time to play. I think I originally started it in August, finished it on 10th of, what's the day say, 10th of the evening of the 10th of October. And if this has been looked at in 2026 or whatever, in 2024. So it took us a few, but that was because of scheduling errors, not errors, but scheduling. He's a busy bloke, I'm a busy bloke, family, illness, invasions from Mars, everything just seemed to get in the way. It was actually finishing the darn thing, but finish it, we did. And let's go through it. So I'm going to probably do this over 2 videos. So hang in there. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there's one other thing. Yeah, we'll get there. We had to go through the errata because we both asked the question, when they get to within 3 hexes, do they stop? Does it go on to the next turn? Or do they start moving willy-nilly from there on? It stops at that point and you move on to the next turn. So, I mean, the example they give in, it's amazing, 12 pages of rule book, about 20 pages of errata. Anyway, well, I'll rephrase that, errata and clarification. And they give an example here on overruns. No. Situation 7. Where's situation 7? Errata. In situation 7, the meeting occurs on the 11th hex of the Russian second turn. There's no other way to avoid it because you've got to follow the road and such forth. What is the movement situation from that point? So that was a question that was asked. Answer: the Russian column stops its movement, and beginning on turn 3, units of both sides may leave the road and proceed at full speed in their respective turns. So in other words, there's going to be 2 turns of us going plop, 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 plop. And then on turn 2, we'll see each other and that'll end turn 2, and then we move on to turn 3. Okay, so I'm gonna let me just zoom in a little bit on the map. Oh, that was a bit of too much of a zoom in. There we go. So the Germans start, and yeah, okay. So let me just, yeah, so he's starting off with, well, a recon unit. Sounds like a good spot. Or did he? No, it starts with a tank. There we go. And off it goes. Remember, road movement is a half movement point per hex. So you should be able to get, it says 12 movement points, doesn't it? Yeah, so it's just 12 hexes. So he's now just filling up. Remember, can't stack. So can't wake your mind up. Okay. He's working out his stacks off board and what they're carrying. Russian turn 1. So that's the Germans. 12 hexes in. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So some pants. So let's have a look at it closely. Now, the reason why I'm looking at this closely because I say we actually did this back in late August, so I can't remember exactly what happened myself. Lots of games, as you know, on my channel, in between Into the Woods and such forth. So yeah, oh yeah, that's what I did. So he brought some Panzer fours, then some Panthers, more Panzer fours. Panthers seem to be interspersed. So, and then a Stug starting to make its snout appearance there. Right. So now onto the Russian turn 1. So we'll go up to the top of the map. Here I am. Okay. So remember, at this point, it's 50 Russian units to 34 German. So I've got to kill and get onto that board too, twice as many to get a victory. So I need to take, I've got to take him down to 25. If I maintain at 50, obviously, I'm not going to. Actually, I've got to take him down to 24. So that's 10 units I've got to kill without losing any. So you can see there's a ratio thing going on here. Right. Start bringing my guys on. So I thought, as I've got to move 12, I might as well bring my slowest unit on first. Was that a sensible thing? Can't remember. We shall see. Remember, that will be my lead unit that will be spotting the Germans. And there it goes. And then I filled up. So let's just zoom out a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So I just then filled up behind it with my tanks. Okay. And on to German turn 2. So just sort of zoom in. What did I bring in? So that is I think it's an SU-152, some T-34s, 76s, T-34Cs. These are all these guys. Then eventually, nope, just all T-34Cs. Okay. If none of you can remember what the numbers mean on the counters, just a brief recap. So you've got your attack value, range, defense value, and movement. A, R, D, M. All Randy dogs mate. It's an acronym I use to remember it. So that's the end of German. End of Russian turn 1. We go on to German turn 2. As I scroll through back down to the bottom here. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. And he starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then he'll just pile them on behind. Because we can't come off the road at this point. And then he starts bringing the rest half tracks with dudes in them. Okay. And that should end his turn 2 onto Russian 2 movement. So remember, this is where we're going to encounter each other. So let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we can see each other. Couldn't see each other in that hex because there's two lots of the red hillside hexes to go through to see down there, but we could definitely see each other now. Then we have a discussion about that. And build up behind. And I obviously got to do my guys that are coming on behind everything else there. So yeah, even trucks, they all count as a unit. It's based on units, not. And he allowed me to mount one guy onto a tank. Okay. Right, let's just quickly go back on that. We moved it back. I'm not sure that's actually correct, I think when I made the statement there, I think we determined probably later on in our second session that 2 red blinds block line of sight. I think it had to be there. But it was still, well, 7 situations and you'd think we'd know the rules. It's only 12 pages for Pete's sakes. Yeah, we got it wrong. Okay. The only case in which a unit may trace an unobstructed line of sight through more than one orange hilltop hex side symbol is when both the target and the firing units are on hilltops. In all other situations, the line of sight is obstructed if it must be traced through more than one orange hex side. So that and that is 2 orange hex sides. So you should have stopped with my unit in there. We hadn't twigged that at this point. We did twig it later on in this particular mission situation. I now want to call it mission situation. Ambush, mission. Most games, scenario. This game, situation. Ding! There we go. So, Harri, if you're watching this, we made a mistake here, but doesn't matter. It's only 1 hex. It's only 1 hex. Is it going to make a significant difference? We shall see. All right, so we're now into German turn 3. German turn 3. Okay. So yes, this is a turn track. I'll keep it separate. I could have kept this all on the vassal main screen, but I like to keep them separate so I can move them around. So there we go. Okay, turn 3. What's he going to do? Because technically he can't fire there. What if he did? He moved up. So remember the sequence of play is you do all your firing and then you do your movement. So in actual fact, you do your firing, then you do your vehicular movement, then you do your infantry movement. So he's doing an overrun. Vicious. Oh, he did that. Get some overrun markers. 1, 2. When you do an overrun, you cannot use the road movement rate. So he's gone. Did he do another overrun? There he goes. And I think yeah. Oh, had to go back there because I said you can't use the road movement rate. Okay. Yeah, he's going back. So you can see we're still making mistakes. What it means is he charged from here to here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so but he can't you're going to do, you can't use the movement rate because I say use one to there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't do that because you've got to pay non-movement rate. So non-road movement rate. You can't use the road bonus to do an overrun. So that would be 3 for a vehicle there. 4, 5, 6, 7. Hasn't got enough because he's only got 8 movement. What does he do? Just a few more arrows. 1, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6 to overrun, 7 to enter the town. Yes, correct. 1, 2, 1 plus 3 for the hill, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to overrun. The 2 overruns going in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Panthers are that little bit quicker than the old TT, than the Mark IV. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, yeah, you decide to overrun. Yeah, I suppose you can do that. That's fine. Yeah. Right, and a rethink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Yeah, we don't play hard. Oh, you've moved it. You can't do that. Gotta take it. No, we don't do that. No, that's just bollocks, man. It's, playing for fun. You don't have to. Yeah, if it was a competition, maybe. One. Oh, he's using the road movement here. So yeah, I feel maybe I shouldn't have put good quality units at the front, but some of them are going to take a bit of a pounding, as you can see. Yeah, so he's getting to be quite a decent, reasonable defense up on top of that hill, whereas my guys have sort of been, oh dear, caught in a trap, a rat trap. Remember, the Germans can stack 3 units per hex. Russians can only stack 2. The Germans represent platoons, the Russians represent companies. So hence why they can only stack 2. And he's filling up that hill quite nicely, is he not? And just moving up the column and then detaching from the column, especially with the movement value of 14. Nice. Our tracks. Right, I think that's the one with his CP. It is indeed. He dismounts the CP, and then you can see he's bringing up his big boys. That's the Vesp and the Hummel. Look at that attack value. I mean, that's obscene, isn't it? 60. Boom. Big boom. Okay. Big boom. Big boy goes boom. Right, so that's his movement done. So he's now executing the overruns. Okay. So he's got 16 plus 14 there. Let's see, I can't zoom any further. Okay, so 16 plus 14, so that's 30. And I've got a defense of 16. So that's actually 1-to-1. However, when you do an overrun, the odds increases 1 in your favor. So that makes it 2-to-1. And there's a -2 on the dice. He rolls a 6. Harry rolls a 6. For a start, that was like, what? What? So using this, or I've got the charts and tables on here. Okay, so that's a 1-to-1, and it becomes a 2-to-1. He rolls a 6, goes down 2 on the dice because my 2 becomes a D. Disrupted result. So that should be, sorry, dispersed. We keep calling it disrupted. It's dispersed. All right. So the next one, again, he's got 12. He's got 30 against 9. So that is 3 to 1. Sometimes the brain goes, yeah, 3 to 1. And we call that, because it goes up to 4 to 1 minus 2. If you look at the 4 to 1s as high as it goes, they're all X's. It's an auto kill. Okay. The only time it's not an auto kill is if it's in terrain, which gives a -1 to the dice modifier. Sorry, +1 to the die roll modifier, like villages or woods. And that's when if you roll a 6, it goes a 7, that's a complete miss. Why that's not a D or something, don't know. But what it does mean is when I roll all my 6s, if you watch the other situations that we played, you know what I mean. Yeah. And he's sitting in a woods or something, it's a complete miss. 4 to 1. The +1 is my dreaded number because I always seem to, well, not always, but there seems to be a high proportion of me rolling 6s. Will that continue in this scenario? Well, you'll just have to bloody watch and find out, won't you? Anyway, so that's the combat results table. And that's a kill on one of my vehicles. Okay. Russian turn 3. Okay. So what am I going to do? One of my big guns dispersed. That means he can't move. He can't fire. He'll be cleared up beginning of, well, the end of my turn 3 is when he actually recovers. I think I'm going to get paused and make myself a cup of tea. Okay, so Russian turn 3. Yes. Got a cup of tea. Yes, nectar for the larynx. Anyway, what am I going to do now? So we've got, that's my first loss from the overrun and I dispersed. Can't do anything with him. What did I do? Sort of struggling to remember, so let's see. Okay. Working something out, probably. Decided to do some no shooting. Remember, it's shooting first, so I didn't shoot. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, woods and cities only cost 1 movement point, probably because of the scale. 10. That's an overrun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's scroll that down a bit. 10. Now, why did I take? Because I'm looking at these. That's 2 units I'm overrunning. Remember, I need to get that ratio down. So rather than trying to just take out his tanks, which I sort of could have done, especially this one here, or these 2, I thought I could take it, but that would have taken a lot because them combined, I've got a defense of 20. So I'd need at least 40, maybe even 60 to get that 3 to 1, 4 to 1, etc. Whereas these, that's quite easy. But also I felt I wanted some stuff over here anyway to start messing in and around his rear echelon units. That was my thought process from what I remember. Again, this was nearly at least 2 months ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 overruns. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I know, looking at it, that is preposterous. All these guys are sitting there going, bye, hello. No opportunity fire whatsoever. It is what it is. You've got to accept that. But also, you've got to think also the scale is 250 meters per hex. So that's quite big. So did that. But then again, these units are big. This is a whole company of tanks. How many tanks are in a company? I mean, a platoon has got what? Three. I mean, a platoon's what, about 12 tanks? Or was it 4 tanks? So that's about 15 tanks there. So they've snuck by all these guys. Yeah. But as I say, once you accept that, then you move on. I know Panzer Leader has got opportunity fire, and that might, once we get to Panzer Leader, or we actually start look at the rules of Panzer Leader, see if we can modify them for, say, we're playing scenarios 1 to 12, situations 1 to 12, as is, with part of our own little tweak. But once we get beyond that, we might look at we probably will look at the Panzer Leader opportunity fire and see if that will add anything. Will I probably play these situations again? Probably not. Probably not. Who knows? Probably with a different opponent, because there are a shed load of situations out there that just require to be played. Why replay the same one twice? How many times can you play guards counterattack? Yeah, against the same person, probably never more than once. But I can't remember playing it more than once against the same person. I played it multiple times against different players, but hey ho. Anyway, enough waffle. What's next? Yeah, he's aiding in that attack, that overrun. Now notice I use road movement there. Let's just go back on that. All right, so that unit there. So he's using road movement. That's 1, 2. So he can't overrun. Let's hope I didn't do an overrun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, he didn't overrun. So I'm moving into woods, trying to get forces on both sides of that hill. That was my thought process anyway, from what I remember. All these T-34s. Okay. And now another SU-12, 152. So that's, yeah, even going through that little bit of hill terrain or slope is +3 movement, even though the majority of the hex is not. Yeah, it's +3 movement. All right. So what is this then? This is a Can't see what it is. Big boys. Yes, I've got 2 sets of glasses. One's the writing. Yeah, T-34-85, and I've got some SU-85s. That one there looks like a T-34-85 15. No, he's 14. So that's an SU-85. Okay, it does look like he's got a turret on there, but okay. SU-85. Boom, 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 boom. Russian vehicles do move quickly. These are the T-34-85s. Right, he's dropped the infantry off in the hex. As you can see, I'm just moving them all up. Gonna take a bit of time. Maybe we can zoom out a bit. I don't want to move out totally. You can see then the grand design of my strategical desire. And more boys. And now bring the trucks in. Now, why did I place that truck there? He's sitting by a slope. No one can see him. Okay, because you've got to see through 2 slope exercise. And he stops fast German movement on the road. Can't be overrun either because it's not a clear hex that he's on. Effectively, a speed bump. And we keep each of those six. Oh, so we want to rework that out. So it comes in there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah, you've got to be careful when I'm moving them now, bringing them in, because otherwise I've got to recount them all each time for the units moving onto the board. And also these are vulnerable to his guys doing overruns on mine. Okay, I decided to adjust it a little bit so they're all on the board. Now we go and calculate the overruns. So let's zoom back in. Okay. That should be an auto kill because it's 12 to a defense of, and it's only the half track itself that's going to defend. So 4, 3 to 1, which becomes 4 to 1. What's going on here? Oh, right. It's just half tracks convert to Rex, the infantry removed. And the last one, which is that one, that's a 1. That's also a wreck. Yeah. 1's good. The odds of that, well, let's actually just backtrack on that a little bit. Okay, so he has a defense of 12. I have an attack of 12 plus 12 is 24, so it's 2 to 1. Okay, well, because it's an overrun, makes it 3 to 1, and I rolled with a -2 modifier. So 6, I'd have only disrupted him. But anything else, so 5 becomes a 3, yeah, it was a kill. So anything but a 6. And I think at the time I was saying, yeah, here we go, here we go. And then I remembered, actually, it's in the open, so that's fine. So, yeah, and then I rolled a 1. So, boom. Remove the disperse. This guy's sitting there going, we're okay. Oh, no. You look at all that firepower facing him. It's like, yeah, you're not going to live, are you? Turn moves now to turn 4. So I bring it up there. Boop, 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 boop. Turn 4. And we continue. Right, we're actually now getting attack markers out. This is going to be the first time there's going to be some shooting. I wonder why. Okay, so he's got, and with the shooting, you've got to designate everything that's going to fire before you actually roll a single dice. You've got to work out all your shooting. He's working out the range, is he? Fired, boom. Yeah, he didn't even, I think he works out as 4 to 1. That's an auto kill because there was no minus, so no die roll was required. Right. And now we go on to movement because he didn't declare any other fire. And now we got him overrunning me. Okay. It's rude. Just rude. But this is the thing. Once you're fighting in the open and exposed, it's tit for tat. And that was the problem in our first playthrough, in that if the Russia just got onto the board and just sat there, I would have to go forward to attack and then be sitting in the open, or if not in the open, close to him because I need to shoot him, which means that he can shoot me and he gets to shoot again before I do. So it would have been taking massive losses. And remember, the Germans had less. So it just went to stalemate by about turn 5, and that was it. Couldn't see any way around it. We went through the general, no, it wasn't, the Wargamer's Guide to PanzerBlitz, and its advice on the scenario was no advice whatsoever. Go and look it up. If you've got it, go and look it up. Situation 7. Yeah. I mean, it did say things like, got to be aggressive. Yeah, but how do you encounter a Soviet unit player that can just actually move everything on the board and then just sit there? It made for a dull game. Okay, picking on my guys. I don't know. Absolutely cruel. I don't do that sort of thing. Okay. It's strengthening his. So bringing out. Oh, an anti-tank gun being deployed. You can see he's definitely strengthening that hill. And as I say, if this was as the scenario was written, I didn't even have to encounter him on the hill. I just go around and sit in the woodshes and say, right, I've got more than you've got on the board. Attack me. Otherwise, I win a marginal victory. And a marginal victory is better than no victory, is it not? I mean, I think pretty much most of the victories we've had in these games have all been marginal. I can't think of any decisive or even tactical to that. But if you guys have been watching the videos and been watching more recently than I have, correct me in the comments. But I can't remember at this case more than a marginal victory. So hence why we changed the victory conditions. No, the Soviets have got to do something. They've got to get that ratio to 2-1 to get a marginal, 3-1 for a tactical, and 4-1 for decisive. Well, we know that's not going to happen, and so it's the marginal is what we're looking for. Okay, so he's dropped off a mortar with the CP. The CP unit can then help these two guys do indirect fire as well. Okay, was he? Oh, let's just go back on that. Me jibber jabbering. All right, so drop that off. All right, so he's now doing the overrun on that hex there. Okay, so I've got defense of 9. He's got an attack of 24. 24 to 9 is 2-1. Comes 3-1. He rolls a 1. Yeah, that's an auto kill. Oh, not an auto kill, it's a kill. Hence the burning wreck. Okay, now that overrun. Now I've got a defense of 18 to his attack of 2 lots of 16, and an attack of 12. 16, I think 32, 42, 43, 44 to 18. So that's 2-1 becomes 3-1. Let me bring that table up again. 3-1 with a -2. Anything but a 6. Harri can roll 6s too. So they're dispersed, which means they're going to be killed next turn, but that means they're there and he's got to fire at them to do that. It's all about resource management in that regard. So I can't do anything with them, but next turn, I know they're sitting in the open. He's got to deal with them. That means he's got to fire something, which means he can't move because if you fired, you can't move. So yeah, that was a good result. Russian turn 4. Okay, so the board's been cleared. So I'm now going to work out what I'm going to shoot at. Again, there are Germans now in the open. Um, so just as this guy here can only be seen if something is adjacent to him as a spotter. Okay. He, however, can see all the way down here. So this line of sight is definitely not reciprocal. So I can't see this guy in this woods. If he wasn't in the woods, then yeah, I could see him if I'm on top of this hill, or even from the bottom of it onto the hill. But as he's in the woods, you need to be, and woods and towns are the same. You've got to have a spotter, and the spotter's got to be adjacent. Tricky. Okay, so this is me working out what I can do against various units. We were obviously jibber-jabbering at this point. What we were jibber-jabbering about, I honestly can't remember, but we're talking about the game and we're talking about how things move and such forth. So, and risks. So I was asking questions because this is, I think, the turn I decide to do something about this bugger before he can do anything about me. What can see what on that hex? And this is where I think we tweaked about the two hexes on the hill. And went, oh. So there's lots of questions about line of sights. And here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't overrun him because he's in the woods. I can only run if someone overruns if someone's clear. But I thought, you know what, I need to get rid of this guy because these two could be a major thorn as the battle progresses. So I thought, yeah, what can see? Because I don't want to go up the hill and then everyone shoots at them. These little brown lines stop a lot of shots coming from this side of the board. Overrun. Overrun. So now I don't look at, you get a lot of games that overruns are just small units being destroyed, especially when you're playing operational games and such forth. I'm looking at that as, remember, each hex is 250 meters. We're going in there and there is a battle, a tank fight going on. But I've brought overwhelming odds to the situation. That's the way I look at it anyway, from a narrative point of view. Bring in what to do about that recon unit and his anti-tank guns. Because attacking this hill is going to be, well, it's what the scenario is really designed around, isn't it? The battle for Hill 132. So, yeah. Bringing some infantry up. Remember, still got to get it onto board too. Each, let's just zoom out a little bit. For trucks, movement in clear is 2 movement points per hex. Road is half, and then what I obviously don't want to do is give him vast overrun opportunities. So yeah, bring up the rear, boys. All right. Do I move any more? Oh yes, those guys in the woods there. Still probably working out what he can do. Again, probably a long conversation. I mean, this tank's not scared of that infantry. Let's zoom it back in again. But I was trying to work out, could this see that? Well, the answer is, if I remove, no, because of that woods X side there. That blocks line of sight. Can this guy, let's go back on him, can he see there? No, because you've got that and that hex side in the way. So no, that's what I thought. Oh, and that's what we were discussing. Yeah. Do you agree you can't see there? Yes. Right. Okay. So, and again, trying to get something going on the slopes, infantry moving up. All right. Okay. Let's go back on that. Looks like I finished my movement. or part of the movement is the overrun. So he's got defense of 8. I've sent 30 through that hex, so it's 30. To 8 is 3 to 1, and then one column shot makes 4 to 1, which makes it an auto kill. No dice required because it's not in terrain. It can't be in terrain anyway, because then it wouldn't have been an overrun. So we are now on to German turn 5. Now, as you can see there, it's come up with end of log file, start new log file. We finished that session at the end of turn 5. So that's where we were when we finished, because the game was played over 3 sessions when we finished the session. Okay. Do I want to start a new log file? No. Well, what I'm going to do is because this is the end, we're about to start to turn 5. I'm going to do turn 5 and turn 6 in this episode, and then do 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the next episode, because a lot more happens in, well, does it though? Maybe finish the end. Let's see how we go time-wise. So I'm going to bring up the next log. So file, load game or log. And as you can see, I've got here situation 7 log 2. Open that, save game, no. And what's it doing now? All right, it's telling us to enjoy our game. German turn 5, as we know. And we should be going on. All right, so his CP is doing an attack. And he's splitting the attack, which he's allowed to do. You've got different ways of attacking in PanzerBlitz. There's actually 3. The main ones, you attack the whole hex. The other ones, you can split the 2 units, or split the multiple units, because you've got Germans, you could have 3, and then you attack the weakest one first, and the second weakest one. As long as you can get a 1-to-1 on each of the units in the hex, then that's allowed. And there's another one, which is a multiple attack. What's that one? But overrun, no. Combat. Selective attack, only 1 unit. The weakest in the defending hex is attacks. Multiple attack, more than 1 unit in the defending stack is attacked. Each unit is attacked is treated as a separate battle. And combination attack, the defending units are treated as 1 combined defense factor. So what he's doing here, he's splitting up what he's actually shooting at. So we have lots of shots coming in. Get all the counters out. Okay, so attack 1 at 1-to-1. So he's got a mortar in that hex, and it's firing at 1 of the T-34s with no help. So using that, it's going to attack a 15 versus a defense of 9. Now, it's only 1 hex range. Remember, it is 250 meters a hex. So that's coming as a 1-to-1 attack, 15 to 9. Okay. There's also, he's a mortar at half range or less, is using his normal attack factor. If he was firing it beyond that at a vehicle at greater than half range, the attack factor would be half. So he's firing it as hence 1-to-1. Okay, what did Harri roll? He rolled a 4 at 1-to-1 is nothing. All right. So that is, so we're now looking at attack 2. So attack 1, well, we haven't removed that marker, but that should have been removed. So attack 2, right, what's going on here then? So he's got anti-tank gun there. All right, now this is where you notice there's an A. Can I zoom in a bit more? No, let's make some zoom in. All right, so that unit has got an A there. That means it's an anti-tank weapon, anti-vehicle weapon. Okay, and that means at half its range, you've got a range of 6, where it's 13, 6, 2, 0. So it's attack of 13 out to a range of 6. and it's got a defense of 2. But so that 6, half of that 3 doubles his attack value there from 13 to 26 if it's within 3 hex range. It's definitely within 3 hex range. So that gun is providing 26 attack factors. Then he's got one of his Panthers got an attack factor of 16. That's doubled to 32. Okay. And this chap is another 24. And then from here, he's firing both of those. And again, they're within half range. That's another 24. That's another 48 against 18. Probably a bit of an overkill. Let's see. I think that's an auto kill. Yeah. Dice weren't rolled. Oh, we're at 4-1, which is an auto kill. Yeah, there we go. Auto. Boom. If there'd been terrain there, but there wasn't. And he's going to mark all these units that actually fired. Right, attack 3. Okay. What's coming in here? So he's got 14, which is doubled to 28 from that vehicle. 16, doubled to 32 from that vehicle. And 14, staying at 14 from that vehicle. He's only attacking one of them. 4-1, auto kill. Protected both of them, that would be probably a 2-1, which probably wouldn't have been enough. So he had to declare all his shots. All his vehicles now marked as fired. And German movement. Okay. And yes, he can overrun the other one. So you can see it's a definite tip for tat. As you move forward, do something aggressive, it's going to come right back at you. All I've got to try and hope for is a higher exchange rate at that point. And again, he's just done that move straight past all my tanks. It is one of the most bizarre things of the game, but as I say, you just get used to it. And this is why sometimes it was called I believe it's called Panzerbush, moving from the woods to the woods for cover and such forth. It affects both players. Okay. Oh, got into my turn. I did put it there, Russian turn 5. Yeah. Talk, but also watch what you're doing. The bunch of us, Mr. Sibbles. Right. So yeah, I'm trying to wipe out everybody in that hex. So attack 1 is at 4-1. So notice I'm not attacking anywhere else. Attack 1 at 4-1. However, there's the woods there. So there is a +1. Roll of 5 becomes a 6. Whew. So 4-1, 5 becomes a 6. It is still destroyed. This table does seem a little bit odd. And again, someone's made a comment in one of the other videos that this should have been changed. I don't know if it's changed in Panzer Leader or Arab-Israeli Wars, but it does seem, let's bring that back up again. It's gone from nothing on there to kill. I would have said put a D there rather than a kill, or a DD. And then put something on the 7, just a D. But the powers that be have decided that's what it looks like. So Elim. Attack 2, it's also 4-1. Roll of 4. Attack 3, 4-1, roll of 1. So I took out that entire hex, which obviously I'm quite happy about. I was ecstatic. Okay, so the extra units that are provided, or we've given the Germans a CP, a half track, were destroyed with the additional bonus of a mortar. So that was 3 counters that was taken out. Which, remember, it's the counters that count. So he took out 2 there. I've taken out 3 there. Hard going. I'm marking everything that's fired. Right. Am I still working out? Can I overrun here? Maybe. But bringing up infantry. Along the road. Right. I'm just going to use my infantry to occupy hexes. They're not really much use trying to assault up there. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to say it now. This is something I hadn't worked it out when we were here. I actually worked it out when we actually started or towards the end of this particular session. All right. So I've just dropped off. Now, carrying the vehicle, carrying an anti-tank gun makes it only 1 stacking point, as it were. As soon as you put it down, employ it, that is 2 units in that hex. Now, remember, I can only have 2 units in a hex. So now I've deployed 2 anti-tank guns. I worked out, wait a minute, I can never pick them up again. Never. I can't get another, a vehicle can't stay in there. They can't move by themselves, got 0. So once I plonk 2 anti-tank guns in there, you can never pick them up. I could just imagine the quartermasters saying, come on, move to the left. No, it is a traffic jam. Can't do it. So don't do it ever again. Maximum 1 anti-tank gun per hex. I did it again later on. So I hadn't worked it out at this point. It was only after I dropped off the second lot, or maybe even the third lot, I went, oh, what a fool. What a buffoon. Because to drop something off, you move, drop it off the vehicle and carry move on. But to pick something up, the vehicle must move in. That's it. The next turn it loads. The next turn it moves. So it's a completely different process time-wise. So I say, situation 7, still learning the game. Okay. Bringing up some more units. Right, what am I doing over here? Oh, just occupying terrain again. This is where sort of trying to work out what's the best approach to getting up that bloody hill to take out. Because we don't want it to end in a stalemate. I'm still working out, can I get up there? Trying to work out a way to say get up that bloody hill without totally exposing everything I've got. Working out again if I just move into this hex here. That's 40 firepower, it's just obscene. And 60. So taking these 2 out is a little bit more trickier than taking out the previous infantry. I'm working out different ways. Infantry can only move 1 hex. So it's a slow approach. All right, German turn 6. You know what? I think I'm going to stop at this point. So we are, in this video, halfway through the game. So it seems like the right point to stop, really, doesn't it? So, yeah. At the beginning of the next video, and the beginning too for this, I will do a calculation to see how close. Didn't do it at the time, but see how close we are to parity. But let's go down or back to me at the top on a full screen rather than little mini me. I hope you enjoyed that. I know me and Harry did. We were thinking at this point, hey, we've created the perfect scenario. We shall see how that will evolve in the next episode. So If you could do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, and any comments, especially what you think about our revised version of this scenario situation. And as I say, anything you think about our gameplay. Nothing too derogative, please. It's the first time we play this situation. We're not sitting here to analyze. The way I view, and I did this with ASL as well, and most other tactical games, the commanders on the ground, they only face these situations once. Particular to the situation, they're probably trained for similarities, and that's what we are, doing is similarities. But the specifics of that situation goes once. I had a slight problem when playing ASL championships, that got the scenario pack and away you went and played. A lot of people, and some ASL championships give you the scenarios months in advance, and you can tell the players that have played that situation and tested it multiple times. Okay, great. I viewed it. Let's play a scenario. Let's play it. I had never really replayed played a scenario beforehand. I don't know, once or twice, but I didn't like it. I like to face the situation the first time and play it and see how I get on. One reason I don't play ASL anymore. So that's it for this episode. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it. And all I can say is, A, if you haven't got this game, get it. If you have got this game, play it, and have fun. That's what it's all about. Play games, have fun. Bye, Internet.